The 2017 French election is heating up. The main candidates, François Fillon, Emmanuel Macron, and Marine Le Pen, are fighting in the most contested election in recent French history. The result could lead to the end of the EU and destabilize Europe for years to come. Let's examine the French election and why it could end the European project. What is so important about elections in France this year is that following the populist movement embodied by the election of Donald Trump in the United States, political fringe parties like the National Front headed by Marine Le Pen are rising to the top of opinion polls. New political parties like En Marche, headed by Emmanuel Macron, are leading alongside the National Front and the traditional Conservative Party being headed by François Fillon. The way the French elections work is that in order for a candidate to win, they need 50% of the vote plus one. If in the first round, held in April, no candidate was able to receive above 50%, then the two top candidates would continue to a second round of elections in May. Opinion polls released in January show the deep divide in French politics and society. Leading the polls is Marine Le Pen, with between 24 and 27% saying that they would vote for her in the coming elections, followed by François Fillon of the Republicans with between 20 and 28%, Emmanuel Macron with between 20 and 24%, and finally the socialist candidate with around 18%. The last major public vote held in France was in the regional elections, where the National Front and Marine Le Pen stunned the French population by winning 27.7% of the vote. This is the National Front's best result in its history. The two rogue elements in this election and the two candidates capable of being France's answer to Donald Trump are Emmanuel Macron and Marine Le Pen. Emmanuel Macron established his own political party last year, which he describes as anti-establishment and neither left nor right. Macron shares Trump's ability to bring huge crowds to his rallies and echoes Donald Trump's anti-establishment rhetoric. However, the difference in policy positions between the two individuals is great. Macron's policies are largely directed towards removing barriers in France. He calls for a democratic revolution to unblock France. In sum, he wants to change the French post-war model, which, as he described in an interview with L'Obs newspaper in France, has created deep inequalities by favoring mostly insiders, those with permanent jobs and stable employment. Everyone else has been left aside. Marine Le Pen and her National Front also echo the populist rhetoric of anti-establishment and of neither being on the left or on the right of politics. She was the first to throw her support behind Donald Trump, stating that this was a victory for free America and a sign of hope for France. Poor economic prospects have left the working class in France feeling left out and forgotten. This, combined with a string of terrorist attacks, has allowed Marine Le Pen to reposition her party away from the traditional right. She's attempting to appeal to the French working class regardless of political affiliation. Le Pen has focused on this anti-establishment rhetoric and portrays France as defenseless against global liberalism and multiculturalism. On immigration, she is clear, stating, "We are not going to welcome any more people. Stop. We are full up." More than once, she has spoken about one language, one culture, as being crucial to human dignity in one social community. With Marine Le Pen, the future of the EU stands in the balance. She has echoed UKIP's policies in the UK and has demanded a Brexit for France. She wants to trigger Article 50, which is the mechanism by which nation-states in the EU can leave the Union. Recently, Le Pen has said that she's looking for a concentrated effort in the European Union of states wanting to leave the euro and take the EU back to being a loose union of states with common goals. A victory for Marine Le Pen in France would be the final blow to the European Union, in my opinion. It is unlikely the EU would be able to survive in its current form with France leaving the Union. Other nations, especially those in the Mediterranean like Greece, would most likely follow suit, and it is not unlikely that we could see the slow collapse of the European Union as a whole. One thing is certain, the French elections could shake Europe to its core, and the results of the elections this year matter. Hey guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe because it really helps. I'd like to know if any of you are affected by what's going on in France. If you're in France, how do you feel? Who do you support? And what do you think might happen? Stay tuned for the next videos. Peace.